Big thank you to Big Brother Kwame Udu. Started the morning for us. Then we joined in with Professor Michael Buedinyamiche, the Makers House Chapel International. And Yonam Haligan brought us the 6 a.m. news as well as the business news for the morning. We'll continue in the morning for you with the 3FM Sunrise here on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. I will start off the morning with the weather updates for you. Slight drizzles in the parts of the capital. We'll get an update as to what it's expected to look like. Then we get into the newspapers, Johnny's Bite, Community Voices. Then as well, sports will come up next. Then we'll bring you the big conversation. But let's get onto the phone right now and get quick weather updates from Felicity Ahafianyo. Felicity, good morning. I trust that you're doing well.
Good morning. Yes, I'm better today than yesterday. What about you?
By the grace of God, myself, Johnny, we're all well and looking forward to today. But it looks like we're going to have a wet day since there are slight drizzles already in some parts of the capital. Is this what we are to expect for the rest of the day?
Yes, for most part of the day this morning up to midday, we expect it to be cloudy with rain over the capital. Almost the whole Greater Accra, part of Eastern region, part of Central region. Then later the system will shift to the Western region. And then by late afternoon, we expect it to trigger localized rain and thunder development over the middle volta, part of northern portions of Eastern region, and then the Ashanti region. So rain is in the forecast for most portions over the southern sector today. But Greater Accra, Central part of Eastern and part of Volta, yes, this morning we have rain everywhere. So if we are still at home, then we need to come out with an umbrella or a raincoat.
And the state of the sea, it's expected to be calmer?
For the state of the sea today, we expect it to be rough. It's yellow today. And then we have the rain and thunder clouds is over the ocean. So fisher folks will also be experiencing rain and thunder. But then the state is still also rough. For the Volta Lake, those over the Sogakofe enclaves, yes, they are also experiencing rain. But those in Afam Place and its environs into Katekrachi, Donko Chrome, Kwame Chrome areas, their rain will come in the afternoon towards the evening hours, so they need to take precautions. And this morning, those around Koforidua coming to a bridge through Accra should watch out for misty and foggy conditions, which is likely to affect visibilities coupled with the rain.
Right then, Felicity, thank you very much. For the northern part as well, what are we to expect? I didn't quite hear. We have a lot of listeners from up north as well who are always tuned in. If we could just get a slight preview.
Yes, forgive me, I've not mentioned them. For them this morning, we expect partly cloudy conditions. Afternoon into the evening hours, we expect isolated cases of rain and thunder. And our area of interest today is around the upper east region and those over the upper west region. Just some few areas are likely to have some cases of rain and thunder.
Felicity, thank you very much for the weather update as always. Felicity Ahafianyo, our chief weather forecaster, who started off the morning for us in terms of giving us a sense of whether or not we will need an umbrella, whether or not you should be expecting a bit more rain. But thank you very much as always, Felicity Ahafianyo, chief weather forecaster with the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Let me bring in Johnny.
Charlie, hobby.
I do for you, boss.
Good morning, man. I mean, I'm surprised that you only realized that the rain started this dawn.
Yeah.
It actually started late last night.
Oh, really?
Yes. Late last night started around like 10-ish. Yeah,
10.
it started. You should be in the room by then. You should have been in the room.
I was in the room, but I slept at 1
Okay,
a.m.
so it wasn't raining really, but
slight
you
drizzles
could get the drizzles. Yes, it was so around 10.
10
I just gone out to do some walk, and then when I was returning, I felt it. So when I got in, I knew it was going to be a long haul, and indeed it's been. I mean, it's rained throughout the night. It's free car wash for some people, yeah, but it's also flood and trouble for some people.
I mean, I wonder when we can have a conversation about rains, and it will just be, it's rained. The weather
in places like Israel, when it rains, they are happy because they can harvest the water to use for other things. Here, when it rains, we are not too happy about it because we have not created the systems to harvest the rainwater to do some irrigation. We've really not built a system. If you come to, for example, Media General, you see that car park there.
Yeah,
it's a rain harvester.
Absolutely.
Straight into the fire hydrant. So somebody in the 60s was thinking, right? Somebody was thinking, why aren't we thinking now? It's a thinking problem. The problems we have with the rain, with the floods, with the mudslide around the Wager area or the Botiano,
headed towards Kaswa.
Yes, it's a thinking problem. I mean, why would we in the 21st century still award contracts to people to construct roads and gutters by the sides without covering the drains? Why would we do that? In the 21st century, today, we still have open drains and contractors are walking free. It's a thinking problem, I'm telling you.
But whenever we say it's a thinking problem, you mention, and I like the fact that you mention the drainage system that we have here, entering straight into the fire hydrant. That was the plan and vision of persons around a certain time. We know the history of
this. If it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Look, go to Tema, for example. Tema is one of the best
developed
communities in this country. What did we do? In Tema, they had a central sewerage system, they had a central water system, electricity, and everything was well sorted. So, forgive me if you're having breakfast. If you flushed your poop in your home or your urine in your home, it's going to a centralized location. That in today's world, because of the modernity and the advancement of science and technology, we could have used that to generate some more electricity or use that, for some other biofuels, something else.
And manure and the
then we had some wise people who came up and they decided that we're going to be digging haphazardly, and they broke all the sewage pipes. So it got to a point where people flushed their stuff and people will be in their homes and then it will just pop up in their home. So everybody now decided, okay, let's collapse the old system and let's all now have individual, it's a thinking problem.
A thinking problem as well as a lack of individuals being able to enforce what we already have. Because the Tema you mentioned was planned, designed.
Yep.
Today, we're having, I don't want to call it settlements spring up in different parts of the country.
Right. Even in Tema, there are slums now.
And it looks like nobody is watching, allowing for proper planning of these areas. And so people go do what they can. Portions of the community which is supposed to be road, somebody's building on it. And there are so many areas today where it didn't used to flood 10 years ago.
Yeah.
One person put up one structure and suddenly it began to flood.
The places you talk about, you can talk about the Dansoman Snake Flats, thanks to Ignatius Kutwe Champon, Colonel General. You can talk about the Awudume Estate, you can talk about Feoyo, you can talk about Tema, you can talk about many other places that... Sakumono, you can talk about Dansoman. Places that have been developed beautifully. You know what they did? They identified the land, they developed it, right? They planned it, they identified the land, they planned, they built before people moved into
exactly.
In present day Ghana, we identify the land.
We are building and we are moving.
We are living in, and then we start building, and then before we start planning. So that you find that most of the new communities that have come up, it's actually somebody's home, somebody's land that he has abandoned for a long time, that has become like the area football pitch. Or the
recreation areas,
or the area taxi rank. So when the person decides that finally I want to come in development, then everybody says, it's for the community. The community has been using it. You are so wicked, but you are living in your property. You have your land, your 70 by 100, you have it. Maybe you have even 2 plots, you have it. Here's 1 plot, or maybe here's 1 acre. Suddenly must become yours because you. And I saw a certain situation around the Spintex Road where people have been using somebody's land as a thoroughfare for a very, very long time. Suddenly the man, and they all had their homes built. Suddenly the man comes and says, oh, I also want to develop my place
and also live.
Come and live because I'm due for pension in 2 years. They say, no, it's a thoroughfare. They say, thoroughfare is saying, it is my land. So we build. Look, if you go to Dansoman, for example, and I keep going back to Dansoman, just along the Kutua Champon Highway, or it's a Kutua Champon Lima Highway, one of the highway, the main highway. There used to be a Dansoman Children's Park. In Kaneshi, we used to have Kaneshi Complex. You know, you go to the mini de Tema, you go to Tema, there are recreation for children on Saturdays to go. Pretty much like what you have in Kensington Park in the UK, where children can go out there with their people, with their dogs and their families and everybody, you know, just breathe some fresh air, enjoy some greenery, you know, have a picnic, family time, bond, and come back home. You don't have to be indoors all the time. Show me any of the studio apartments that are being built these days, and show me what levels of greenery is even inculcated into that.
The greenery is rubber. That is.
It's rubber. It's turf that is put there, and then it's tiled, and then it's glass, and then that's it. So you are consuming more electricity by putting on your AC, because without the AC, the place will be
very
as hot as hell.
Very, very hot.
So what are we doing really? Today it is raining. Ideally, in the past, you had homes, and I'm not saying that we should all have homes that was just dusty. But back in the day, you had homes that were that dusty, or you had homes that had, you know, some grass, and the water would just quickly seep into the earth, and it would not run off, hit the tile and run off. What do we have today?
Everybody is building such that the water runs off.
We are just in a fine mess. The mess, we have created a mess, but we have fine-tuned the mess. So we are in a fine mess. We live like in a baller house, but we have painted the baller red, green, blue, black, multicolored. So it looks nice. It's a beautiful baller, but it's baller anyway. It's baller anyway. And authorities need to be paying attention to some of this. I've made suggestions to the assemblies that, look, if Mawena comes to you and he has a 70 by 100 plot, and he says, I want to build a place that I can lay my head, but I'm going to dedicate 20% of my property for greenery. So I'm going to have a backyard garden, and then aside that, I'm going to have some lawns, blah, 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 blah. That Mawena projects that he has, because he's dedicated 20% of that land size to greenery and to help our ecosystem and everything that we are fighting for, whatever it is, climate change, blah, 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 blah. Give him a discount on his property rate and also his building permit. Give him a discount. If somebody comes in and says, I have 40%, I'm dedicating 40%, and there must be strict compliance to it, 40%, give him a bigger discount than what we give Mawena. And if somebody comes and says, I don't want to have greenery, I just want to tile and have all glass and rubber, charge 100% and charge extra that you give to Mawena and the other person as compensation. Because when the water runs off from their home, it will come to yours. But yours has provision enough to absorb the water. His doesn't have provision. Why should you all be paying the same amount of money? People should be rewarded for learning to apply common sense, as Abolo would say. It's common sense. We should be rewarded for applying common sense. We should be rewarded for applying common sense.
Else we'll continue to run around in circles and have this conversation every morning.
Look, pretty much like what we do. People these days don't depend on ECG. Even though the power is constant, people over the time have learned not to depend on ECG. So they have their own solar systems that they use. People over the time have decided not to depend on Ghana Water Company. So everybody is drilling
boreholes and all of that.
That's where the problem is. So let's say there are 10, 15 houses lined up like this, and everybody has dug boreholes. You know what you have done to their homes? You have created fault lines, and you have created literal holes under the homes. So a little shake, we're all going down. Now, if I dig my borehole next to yours, and I'm not so lucky and I dig it closer to your manhole, you can imagine what I'm drinking.
All of these.
So the system has to work. So every now and then the people have, what do you call it? When you eat somebody's typhoid. Every now and then they have typhoid, and they don't understand. They think it's some witch somewhere that's bewitched. Nobody's bewitching you.
Yeah, I think at some point this year there were reports of very crazy numbers in terms of typhoid in, was it the Volta region somewhere?
Yeah.
But in the last month or so, I've had I think the last 2 months, myself, family, friends, all complain about having suffered typhoid in one form or the other.
Typhoid?
Yeah.
Is that you've been eating things?
Yeah. You understand? And I'm saying this to feed into the argument you're making that a lot of people, in persons I know actually,
right,
persons I interact with, I've had my family and friends as well, all report having to turn up at the hospital for typhoid.
You know one other cause of typhoid that maybe the authorities have not paid attention to. There may be many people in this country who are producing what we call pure water or sachet water without the requisite approvals and without the proper sanitary conditions. I mean, really, what do you need to produce pure water? Get somebody to print the rubber for you,
and you get the machine which seals the entire
so
thing.
This whole reverse osmosis concept that is supposed to be the approved way, a lot of people don't do it, and it's been on social media now. People pick a sachet water and they can show you, take a closer picture of it for a video, and you can see organisms in there like that. But you see, in traffic, where usually people purchase these things from, they have no time to check for these because the person is in the heat of the Trotsky. His lips are so parched. He just wants to drink water. It's chilled. They give it to him. He wipes one portion of it. That's it. He's gone. He's drinking it. Now, even the person who is picking the water to put in that container to come and vent for you, right? How clean is the person's hand? How often has the person used the washroom without actually going to wash his or her hands with soap and under running water? How many times has the person visited, or gone to do number 2 in the White House, right? And come and continue selling for you. Food vendors. We know how some food vendors just excuse themselves. They go to the next gutter, they go and pee, and they come back. They just find some water, and then they just put their hands in there like that.
They just shake it, and they feel they've washed it with soap and all of that.
And then it's done. A public health conversation must be extended so that people are aware that somebody comes straight from the washroom, wants to sell food for you. You tell them, say, hey, madam. The same hand that the woman is using to scoop the wachi for you or the rice for you,
sometimes
it's the same hand that is using to take the money from you. And where has the money been?
That's the exact point I was going to.
Where has the money
been? They take the money, they drop it, they change, then they are going back scooping.
So where has the money been? Kenke sellers, banku sellers, where has the money been? I mean, he's using the same hand to roll the banku for you.
And he's using that same money
hand to collect the money and to change it for you. And where has the money been? Because we know that in this country, forgive me, but people use public toilets and they pay with money and they get change at that same location. We know that people go to urinals, like one we have at Linda Doe, etc. They get change from those places.
I mean, money travels.
People go to buy charcoal. People, all manner of things.
Places,
Trotsky's, everything. Charlie, we need to be serious.
Yeah, we need to watch it. But let's make way for Johnny's Bites this morning.